After doing that event, my whole perception of Jiu-Jitsu changed, you know. Since I was a kid, my whole goal was, okay, I'm just gonna win worlds. I wanna win worlds. Then I wanna win worlds every year. Now what I realized is who's number one is the professional thing, you know. Doing those competitions builds you up to do who's number one, you know. But now that's my goal, to consistently do who's number one, and every time I can fight professional. So I'm fighting against Lucas Pinheiro. He's super high level, like super tough, you know. I fought him before 2 times, and both matches with him were wars. For me, I think Joel Miao was like the top ranked no-gi person in 135, and then Lucas defeated Joel Miao at 135 at the Fight to Win or something. So I know that he's like the top guy for me to fight right now, you know. I'm super excited to compete with him, and for him to challenge me, and I respect him a lot, and like he's a great competitor, and he's gonna push me to perform even better, you know.
Back in the Jiu-Jitsu paradise of San Diego, Lucas Pinheiro isn't sweating the upcoming challenge. The Brazilian veteran and the #1 ranked bantamweight grappler is no stranger to having a target on his back.
Say hi. Say hi for the camera.
Before moving to San Diego, since the pandemic started, like the academy that I worked, they shut down everything, and I was like, man, I have no job. What am I gonna do? Because I have a daughter, and I have to pay my bills, I have to do my things. I help my family every single month. I send money to Brazil to help my family, and I was like, I gotta do something. And I work like 6 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., like 12 hours and a half. And then after that, I went home, and I was take care of her. And then during the day, she's take a nap like around 2 to 4. She take a good nap, and I was going to train. I was like, no, I'm going to train. I was going to train, and then around like 6:30, I was finished my training, and I went to work again. It's more about mentality, you know. Like if you have a good mindset, you can do whatever you want. I feel like if you're thinking about your body's tired, you know, like if you're thinking about you start a diet and you cannot do well, you're not gonna do well. You know? If you want to be the best, you have to do push yourself 100%. Even like outside the mat, right? If you have a job outside of Jiu-Jitsu, you have to do 100% no matter what. If you want to be a good competitor, you have to do 100%.
Água. Fala bem.
Bem.
Morel. Fala. Como faz o patinho?
Training at Atos HQ has its perks. Day in and day out, the world's best grapplers come through these doors to sharpen their blade.
My name is Lucas Pinheiro. I'm black belt first degree, training here at Atos Jiu-Jitsu San Diego under Galvao, and I'm the #1, 135 pounds. I'm a Prelims champ gi no gi, and also I'm a world's gi and no gi medalist.
And for Lucas Pinheiro, the timing for the biggest match of his career couldn't be any better.
And his opponent, Lucas the Bad Boy Pinheiro!
People always say to me that I have a tough Preshow. I do everything. I do top game, I do bottom game. If you want to do takedowns, I do takedowns. And I feel like since I moved to San Diego, I've improved a lot of my finish, my submission skills. And since I enjoy Atos, I was starting changing my whole game. Now I feel like my game is more like I can do technical game, I can do aggressive game, I can do like faster game, I can do everything with a good pace.
Come on, guys, come on, don't talk, you gotta find a way. Get it back, or fast the guard, or if you get a position. Side.
Man, it's gonna be a great match because Lucas has the pressure. You know, he's like a lightweight. I would say like a roosterweight that likes to pass like a heavyweight. So it's gonna be very interesting. Like, let's see if Lucas will be able like to control the fight. You know, and he fought Mike a couple times with the gi. You know, I think they never fought no gi. So Mikey knows about Lucas' pressure. You know, he knows. He felt it before. I'm pretty sure he's gonna pull guard. You know, he's gonna pull guard. He's gonna be on bottom, and Lucas will be ready to attack and pass with a lot of pressure and get the victory, you know.
To represent Atos is a dream because I compete against the best. It's because I have to do the things like Andre, like I put myself on the spar and then I can compete against everyone. I'll be competing against Mike Musumeci. The last time we competed was 5 years ago. He's one of the best black belt in the world. I think I'm the only person that passes guard in the gi, and this is gonna be a very, very tough match.
What you could expect from me is I'll give you guys my best. You know, I've been really working hard, but I promise you that I'll get into some cool technical exchanges, and Lucas is amazing, and it's an honor for me to compete with him again.
This match is very exciting because there is no point system. It's a submission only, there is no stalling. And I don't worry about anything. I just go for the submission, that's it.
I think Lucas is like super strong. He has a lot of pressure. You know, he's a pressure passer. And he'll put a lot of pressure on my guard, and he'll test my guard, you know. I'm looking for someone to make me feel like I'm going to break, and I have to find a way to overcome that. That's why I compete. Fighting Lucas Pinheiro is a war, so that's what I want, you know. I want to be pushed. My goal is to fight the best people, so I love this opportunity again.
I believe he has 43% of the submission, and I have like 47%. And like I say, I'm respecting Mike a lot, but I'm gonna betting ball on him. And I'm very excited for May 28th.
My whole goal in competing is to have the best jiu-jitsu I can. It's gonna be a war with Lucas, and of course my goal will be for the submission. Both of us have evolved so much, so we'll see who has more development, you know, and we'll see like what happens in this match.
When these two men take to the mat, we will once and for all be able to answer the question on everyone's mind. Who's number one?
Minutes to work, Craig Jones.
Got the heel. He's got the heel here.
Atos Jiu-Jitsu, the 2020 Pan and Pan No Gi champion. Please welcome Ronaldo Jr. From Adelaide, Australia, and fighting out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, representing Danaha Death Squad, 2019 ECC silver medalist, Craig Jones.
Now this is the marquee matchup of the night because Craig Jones has an 83% submission rate. The question is, how does Ronaldo deal with that?
Pular logo, pula logo. Vai ficar muito parado, Ronaldo. Tô muito pra trás.
Agora, vai.
Next time, Kazushi, before you switch to the Achilles, I can't go out.
finish here at Who's Number One? Inside heel hook in just under 5 minutes.
Yeah, obviously Ronaldo's explosive. He's hard to get a hold of. He had some good evasion skills. I didn't know what to expect coming in. I thought there's two types of guys that come across the no-gi. There's the guys that are going to just Roberto Jimenez it and just throw themselves into the fire. And then there's guys that are going to stay on the outside. Ronaldo really did stay on the outside, but maybe he had something planned for later in the match. But again, like based on how he was disengaging, once I hit the 50-50 entry, I was planning to hang on there until the end of the match.
Separate the legs now.
Separate, go to inside shoulder. Separate, go to inside shoulder.
Amazing. Like you said, every time I come back, the hotel's nicer, the warm-up mats have doubled. Yeah, great show to be a part of. We just made this move to Puerto Rico and stuff, and we're still adjusting to life down there, so it's good to know that with the big switch, we can still deliver on the big stage. So I feel more pressure to win from Gordon Ryan against Atos than I do in and of myself losing to Atos. But yeah, I mean, the rivalry lives on.
Well, it was a hard job getting into that attack position, but once he managed to get the leg, it was all over.
Gordon might have smacked me if I'd lost, I'll say that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on FloGrappling from Austin, Texas. For Who's Number One, Craig Jones versus Luiz Panza. Tonight, you will witness 9 matches featuring the best grapplers on the planet. Are you ready?
Welcome back to another edition of Who's Number One here in Austin, Texas, brought to you by FloGrappling. It's myself, Howell T, joined by Chase Smith, my broadcast partner for this evening, and we're looking forward to 9 matches of no-gi submission grappling action. Here tonight on the mats, headlining the show will be Craig Jones taking on Luiz Panza, but we have got a stacked card non-stop top to bottom. We've got the hottest rising up-and-coming prospects in the game, joined by some number 1 ranked grapplers, Chase.
It's been a wild ride to get here, but man, I'm so excited. There are really a bevy of interesting matches. I can't wait to see Mika Galvao back on the stage versus Andrew Tackett. We got Jonathan Alves taking on Oliver Taza in a great clash of styles. So many things to watch tonight, and of course the main event with Craig Jones and Luiz Panza. Can't miss that.
So, speaking of the main event, of course, our original plan was to have Gordon Ryan in the main event against Panza, but of course, circumstances meant that that fell through. But every cloud has a silver lining, because we're able to get Gordon's training partner and teammate Craig Jones to step in and take that match instead. But we do have the man himself here, Gordon Ryan, joining us tonight here for a little bit of pre-show analysis. Gordon, welcome back to Who's Number One. But the first thing I want to say really is, it's just, man, it's such a shame to hear about the circumstances that led to this. Can you tell us a little bit about exactly what has happened and why you pulled out of this match?
Yeah, so I've been having stomach issues for 3 years now, and now it's just at a point where, like, my training is being affected to a point where I feel like it's not professional for me to come in and show up doing the camps that I'm doing right now. I feel like I want to come in and I want to give the fans, the athletes, I want to give everybody 100% of what I am. And I feel like my training right now, like sometimes I come in and I can't even do the session. Sometimes I come in and I drill a few moves and I'm just so nauseous I can't do anything, or I get so nauseous I'm useless in live training. And I feel like it's just not professional of me right now to compete in the shape that I'm in. So I'm just trying to get better so I can get back out there.
Hard to believe that an athlete in his prime, only 25 years of age, the number one ranked pound-for-pound grappler in the world, has had to step away. But hopefully it is something that we could maybe address in the future, and we'd love to see you back in action. But tonight, you'll be joining us in the commentary box. You'll be calling the action for the co-main and the main event. But let's talk a little bit about the match. Craig versus Panza, two men that you know well. What can you tell us about this match?
I mean, I train with Craig every day, and it's not easy training. Craig has gotten much better over the last couple of years, and there's very few holes in his game right now. So I think it's going to be, a heavy favorite for Craig. That being said, Panza's no joke. Panza has beaten multiple world level guys. He's won multiple titles. And he's a lot bigger than Craig. I think there's like almost a 30 to 35 pound weight difference. And Panza's legit. I mean, he's beaten all the best guys, and he's won some of the biggest tournaments there are.
A big factor discussion here was the leg locks with the classical style that Panza brings into the game. He's more of a gi-focused player, or could be considered such, where Craig has more of a modern style. Do you think that's going to play out in some way tonight?
I hope so. I hope to see some leg lock shootouts. Panza was famous for being like the IBJJF leg locker, and Craig obviously is one of the best leg lockers in the world. So I think that Panza coming out and attacking Craig's legs and Craig going for counterattacks or vice versa, I think it's going to be very interesting and very exciting for the fans.
I mean, we saw some of the action there in that little highlight of Craig Jones. And he's not just a leg locker, though, right? He's a very versatile submission artist. He's able to attack any part of the body with great efficiency. But what kind of threats do you think that Panza has aside from the leg locks? What else does Craig have to be careful for?
I think he's very good at shooting into like explosive kind of triangles. When guys try to pass his half guard, he kind of rips the knee out and shoots into triangles and transitions from that. So I think that leg locks are his primary attack. So I think he can attack all the submissions very well, particularly upper body triangles, omoplatas, arm bars, things like that.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to a very competitive match. Another match that we're looking forward to will be Mikey Musumeci versus Lucas Pinheiro. Now, of course, Mikey, one of the best American grapplers currently on the scene, making a return to no-gi after a lengthy absence. And Lucas is the number one ranked 135-pound no-gi grappler on the world. Now, you know Mikey pretty well. What do you think about his return to no-gi?
I love it. He's primarily known as a gi guy, but a lot of people forget that he's a no-gi world champion. He's a no-gi black belt world champion. So for him to come in and to do not just IBJJF rules, and he's kind of dabbling in submission only now, and I want to see him compete under ADCC rules as well. I think it's really interesting to see him under a submission only rule set, and he was very impressive last time, so I'm excited for it.
Gordon, I want to ask you, what would you, if you could give Lucas Pinheiro some advice, what would you say to him ahead of this match?
Don't try to pass Mikey's guard, because it's next to impossible. I've trained with him so many times that I was never able to actually pass his guard into side control. So it's going to be very difficult, I think, to get past his guard. I think he's much better attacking the back, attacking the legs, and doing things like that. But Mikey's just so positionally sound, so aware of submissions. I think it's going to be tough to get anything going on him.
That said, an amazing statistic is the fact that Pinheiro is the only man to have passed Mikey's guard at the black belt ranks. And now, of course, was a gi match, so a little bit different, and the techniques applied in that match very different to what we're expecting here tonight on Who's Number One. But Pinheiro, he's from Manaus in Brazil, a very tough competitor. Do you think experience is a factor here?
Experience is always a factor. I think that both of these guys have been competing long enough against the highest level guys that you're not going to see too much difference in the experience level. I think that they've both been winning for a very long time at the highest levels, and they both have been in there with the toughest guys. So I think it's going to be more of a technical battle. I think they're both going to be going out there and looking for looking for the finish, and it should be a really exciting match.
A lot on the line, of course, with that who's number one, the number one spot in the 135-pound ranking. But that's not the only match where the number one spot is potentially on the line, because we have Wagner Rocha, currently the number one ranked 185 grappler in the world, going up against Josh Hinger. Now, Wagner, of course, you competed against him recently, one of the toughest guys in the business.
Of course, of course. That is going to be interesting because it could go a few different ways. They both can do takedowns, but they're both primarily counter wrestlers. Wagner waits for guys to shoot on him, and he goes for Kimores, and Josh waits for guys to shoot on him, and he goes for guillotines. So what I hope doesn't happen is they just stand on the feet and collar tie each other for the full 15 minutes. I hope that someone ends up on top, and then they can actually do what they're supposed to do and do submissions and do jiu-jitsu. That being said, neither guy really likes to play on bottom. So I'm curious to see how this match is going to play out.
You got to experience some of Wagner's mind games, and he's a very talkative, vocal competitor. He likes to chat with you during the match. Do you think that'll be a factor tonight, and what might that do to Josh?
I don't think so. I think Josh has been there for long enough with the high level guys, and he's seen it all. He's been competing a long time. He was around before even I was around. I mean, he remember competing against him and against Gary in EBI. So he's a true veteran. I don't think that Wagner is going to really be able to get to him much.
Won't stop him trying, though. Of course,
definitely won't stop him trying.
Hinger, of course, he's famous for that amazing guillotine. He's training at Atos in San Diego with guys like the Ruotolo brothers, with, of course, Lucas Pinheiro, who's also competing tonight. And he has hit the podium at ADCC. So it's I don't know, but I feel like this match is going to be one of those ones where it's whoever imposes their will first is probably going to get the victory.
I agree. I think whoever gets an advantage first is probably going to ride out a win. That being said, it's going to be interesting to see if anyone elects to pull guard or if it's going to be a takedown battle until eventually someone gets a takedown. I can see Wagner putting Josh down and Josh maybe either securing a guillotine or failing, and then Wagner ending up on top. I think whoever ends up on top is probably going to be able to pass the guy's guard if the bottom player elects to stay down on their back. If the guy just stands up, then it's going to be difficult. But I think the top guy is going to have the advantage.
And of course now your brother, Nicky Ryan, is also competing tonight. He had... Let's say you said it best, Chase, right? In a less than satisfying performance on the last time out on Who's Number One, but he's returning to go up against Gabriel Almeida. What have we seen from Nicky in previous Who's Number One? So what aren't we seeing so far? Why isn't he satisfied?
So no one's going to believe me when I say this. They're going to say, oh, you're just his brother, and this is untrue or unbiased or whatever the case is. But Nicky in the gym is my absolute hardest training partner. This kid is so good. And the only thing that I want is for him to showcase what he does in the gym on the competition stage. And I think that if he can just show up and compete like he trains, like people are going to be in for a rude awakening. And I feel like he should have won the PJ match a lot easier than he did. And I feel like he's coming in to prove that what he showed last time wasn't what he was fully capable of.
Do you think ring rust is a factor? Nicky, for a very long time, wasn't a very active competitor, whereas if you look at Gabriel Almeida, he competes every single weekend. Now that Nicky's ramping up his schedule, do you think that might be working in his favor tonight?
Yeah, I think that one of the main criticisms I've had of Nicky, and he'll tell you this, I've been telling him for years and years and years, compete. And I think that now he's starting to realize that, it's different out there. And I've always told him, you don't want to have to learn to compete when you're out there against the absolute best guys in the world. You want to learn how to compete in the tactics and the experience and the pressure of being on the stage as you're coming up through the ranks, not when you're competing at ADCC. So I think that he realizes this now, and he actually has a shockingly low amount of matches for someone who's a black belt and a competitor, and in the position he's in. So I think that he's starting to realize this now, and I think he's coming out and looking to compete as much as he can, and I think that's going to really push him to the next level in competition. I think that people are going to see what he's capable of live on the competition mat. The things that we see every day, people are going to see that now.
So you said it exactly, that competing is a learned skill, and Gabriel Almeida of Checkmat was one of the most active competitors of 2020. He had over 35 matches last year. What does Nicky need to be aware of going up against a well-trained, a very experienced veteran such as Almeida?
I think tactics, physicality, and just overall experience will play a big role. I think that Nicky is technically superior, but I believe that Gabriel is probably a little bit tactically superior, and he definitely has a big experience advantage. And he's just much more physically developed than Nicky. Nicky's only 19, and Gabriel's I don't know how old, but he's a lot older than Nicky, so he's been competing a lot longer. And he's been training a lot longer. So I think that if anything is going to come into play, it's going to be the experience and the tactics.
All right. Well, there are many other matches to look forward to this evening, but I'd like to get your opinion. Gordon, what are you looking forward to the most tonight? What other matches stand out for you?
Obviously, the guys from my team. I'm excited for Damien to go out and compete. You know, this is his first time on a big stage, so I'm excited for that. Oliver Taza obviously always comes to bring the heat. Another couple of matches I'm really excited for is Mika Galvao versus Andrew Tackett. Two guys who have just been killing it and are very excited and always going for the finish. So when you have two guys that want to engage each other and want to get to the finish, that's what everybody likes to see. That's what I like to see. And I think it's going to be a really great and very competitive match. Another one that I'm interested in is Patty versus Jessa. This is actually a rematch. Patty, I think, submitted her the first time they competed in EBI, but that was a long time ago. And I think that Jessa and both Patty have both gotten much better. And it's kind of interesting because Patty's been around for so long, competing at the highest level. She's won everything. And Jessa's kind of building her brand and moving up to that. You know, she's been obviously winning a lot lately, but she's kind of moving into that world-class level now. So I think it's going to be a nice battle of generations between those two.
Well, there you have it, Gordon. It was amazing to get your analysis as we head into tonight's event. But you'll be back, like I said, on the mic later on to call the co-main and the main event with us. Thank you very much for your input so far, and we'll see you later.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Gordon.
All right, guys. Well, of course, that's not it. Like we said, there are plenty more matches to look forward to. Tonight, we have a total of 9 no-gi submission grappling matches this evening. And as mentioned, Jessa Khan will be taking on Patty Fontes in a 115 strawweight match. Oliver Taza versus Jonathan Alves of AOJ. And then our 3 prelims. I think these are the ones that really stand out, right?
Oh, man, I'm so excited for this. Of course, Gordon mentioned Mika versus Andrew Tackett, and that is going to be a barn burner. What a way to set the tone for the night, our final match in the prelims. But they'll be, ahead of them will be Cole Abate is back on the card. Another prodigy, right? Straight out of the USA, taking on Bird Wiltse. That's Andrew Wiltse's brother. And kicking off the show, we have Damien Anderson versus Luiz Quinones.
Oh, well, there we go. So non-stop action, but just a little heads up as to exactly what the rules are here at Who's Number One. So basically, these are no-gi grappling matches, no points, no rounds, submission only. 1 15-minute round. Victory is either by submission or decision. And if the case that it does go to the judges' scorecards, our criteria is based on takedowns, throws, guard passes, sweeps, reversals, positional control, and submission attacks. Basically, Chase, we just want to see good jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. We're looking for effective grappling, and the rules are set up to reward that. No one area of jiu-jitsu is rewarded more than the other, whether positional control or submission attempts. Everything is looked at and reviewed by our judges. But let's throw it to our friend Reed, and he'll explain a bit more.
Welcome to Who's Number One, the premier proving ground for the world's best grapplers. And now right here on this very stage, 2 grapplers will enter, and only one will leave victorious.
All matches are 15 minutes in length, except where otherwise noted, with no points, no advantages, and no interruptions. Just elite, competitive grappling. There are 2 ways to win. The first is, of course, the most preferred, by submission. And here at Who's Number One, all submissions are legal. Heel hooks, arm bars, twisters, and beyond, the world's best have all the tools at their disposal. And if at any point either competitor taps, the match is over. But if there isn't a submission, we will rely on 3 neutral side judges to determine a winner. Their decision will be based on our Who's Number One judging criteria, which is unique to this mat. Now, above all, we are looking for aggression. That means never taking a backward step and moving forward at all costs. We're looking for dangerous submission attacks. That means attempts that will result in a near submission, okay? Leave your 50-50 ankle locks at home. We don't need them. And if it doesn't result in a reaction or a hyperextension, they simply won't count. And finally, positional control. That means guard passes, mount, back takes, anything that leads to positional dominance. The match will be judged in its entirety, and the person with the better display of effective grappling skill will get their hand raised. The referee is also neutral and does not take part in the judges' decisions. His role is purely to control the action on the mats and reset the action should it go out of bounds. This is elite grappling competition at its purest form. a showcase for the world's best grapplers on the world's biggest stage. Just the best fighting the best. It's the only way to truly find out who's number one.
Just a little addition to the rules, of course, is an explanation of the judges' favor system. So during the match, you'll see at the 5 and the 10-minute mark, our judges will indicate who they perceive is currently leading the match at that point, right, Chase?
Yes, and let's be very clear. This is not a score, and these are not rounds. They have no definitive effect on the outcome of the match. It's just a window into our judges' minds as the match goes on.
Now, of course, what can happen is that somebody can be leading in those first 5 or even 10 minutes, but if the other competitor was to come back and was to actually score more significant jiu-jitsu attacks within that last 5-minute period, then they can actually win the match outright. So just more of a visual guide to help the viewers at home and here in the audience here tonight through the match. But of course, as Chase mentioned, not points, not rounds. This is just one 15-minute round. Now, of course, we have plenty more matches to come this evening. 9 no-gi matches. We'll be right back after this.
I'm on my way home. I'm on my way back to stay. I can't do without you another day. Oh, baby, I'm on.
My name is Damian Anderson. I'm a purple belt under John Danaher and Gary Tonin out of Puerto Rico and all in BJJ. My greatest strength is my outside ashigarami and my heel hooks, but tonight you'll see a lot of chaining submission from upper body as well as lower body.
My name's Luiz Quinones. I'm a brown belt under Eddie Bravo, and I represent 10th Planet HQ. It's an aggressive, kind of wrestling-based style. Always 10th Planet, always looking for the sub. So expect fireworks. Always going to look to come out and put on a show. That's why we're here.
He's fought a couple of our guys. You know, he's doing pretty well in the upcoming scene. So I know he'll be a very tough match for me, but I still believe I'll win.
A DDS member, which is even cooler. Kind of the 10th Planet DDS thing is always something, like I'm smiling, it's always something everybody gets excited about.
Rosenthal's left hand is gripping. Oh, brings it underneath and looking for a shoulder crank, and he's going to get it. Wow.
Fireworks. Fireworks and something exciting. So I think, you know, especially coming off my last performance, I'm looking to kind of take it up another notch.
You'll see a very dynamic game for me, a lot of movement based. You won't see a lot of stalling, no backwards steps at all. I'm pretty much always going to go in there and hunt for the submission.
I know you're going to bring it, I'm going to bring it, so let's put on a show.
Luiz, I know you're a tough guy. Sorry you have to go against me.
Let's meet the competitors in match number 1. In the blue corner, training out of Los Angeles, California, and representing 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Luiz Quinones.
Originally from San Juan, Puerto Rico, now based in Los Angeles, California, the 10th Planet brown belt, Luiz Quinones.
Luiz has an impressive wrestling background, wrestled all the way from middle school through college, and has transitioned very nicely into submission grappling. Cannot wait to see his debut tonight.
And his opponent in the red corner, training out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, and representing Danaher Death Squad, Damian Anderson.
Originally hailing from New Jersey, a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu, representing the Danaher Death Squad, Damian Anderson. A relatively unknown face, but about to make his mark.
Yeah, Damian actually started training with Gary Tonin in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has joined the squad full-time in Puerto Rico. Let's go.
All right, tailor the tape. You can see that physically very well matched. Of course, both 145-pound grapplers, 1-inch height advantage, but look at the age difference. Do you think that's going to be a factor here, 36 versus 24?
We'll find out very shortly, Hal. Let's go.
Our officials and our man in the middle, Gabriel Martins, is going to be the referee for all of our matches tonight, just giving the last-minute instructions to our competitors, and we are away for the first match here at Who's Number 1. Quinones in the hard-to-miss pink
quick
rash guard.
Single leg there attempt.
Well, he has the wrestling background. You mentioned it right there, and look at that. Straight on the front headlock from the single leg chase. This is a good start.
Yeah, way to open the match. High pace. That's what we love to see here at Who's Number 1. Damian gets out of a tricky spot there and settles back into a guard. Man, I'm already so excited.
You know, this is something that you have to be aware of, because here, Who's Number 1, you know, the takedowns, they do matter. You know, we, of course, are a submission-only grappling event. That means that there are no points in play. However, our judges do consider who is controlling the action. If they put their opponent down to the mat against their will, well, that means that they're winning the match at that point.
Absolutely, aggression is rewarded here. Now we've reached an established guard here as Damian looks to be a little more at home than he was momentarily there early in the match. Quinones, though, really putting a lot of forward pressure there and biding his time as he looks for an opening to try and pass this guard.
So important to note that both these men, even though they are relatively unknown on the scene. They're still very much making their name in the no-gi grappling world in comparison to the top 10 ranked grapplers. They are unranked currently. But they have the responsibility of representing two of the most well-known teams in Jiu-Jitsu. Of course, Quinones representing 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, a direct student of Eddie Bravo there in Los Angeles. He's actually in the corner right here at mat side. And of course, Anderson training daily with John Danaher of the infamous Danaher Death Squad in Dorado, Puerto Rico, who is also sat mat side, Chase.
Yes, two amazing teams there that have a long history together. I'm really liking Luiz's passing posture here. He's being very patient, putting a lot of pressure, and now he's sort of locking up that hip control there with his left arm, and just driving into Damian's head there with his face with his own head. Really uncomfortable position, and I'm liking the aggression. He's very patient.
Yeah, of course, that's the name of the game here in trying to pass the guard is he wants to get past Damian's frames, he wants to get past his arms and legs, and he wants to establish a control of the upper body, like a chest-to-chest control, settle down into some kind of pin, but that is not easy, especially in this 145-pound division, because these guys are very flexible, they're able to get their limbs in the way, and as we saw there, Anderson very deftly recovered his guard, and now they're back in the center of the mat, and this is an opportunity for Anderson to attack. But look at that, Quinones just hopping over the shin-to-shin guard, just using that momentum of the hook and riding it over and into another front headlock attack here.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot to be. Eddie Bravo's very animated in the corner of Luiz here, as he knows he's in a tight spot. Really wrapping up the neck there. See if he can do anything with it. Damian is able to extract himself from a tricky spot there. But Luiz has to be encouraged by that momentary transition there as he was attacking the head.
Quinones right now setting the pace here in the match. I think that's important. Look at that nice guard pass attempt, almost sprawling on top of that leg to try and get around to the side control, but a good recovery there from Anderson, who's back up to his feet. Now, will we see Anderson use his wrestling to try and dictate the pace of this match and settle things down on his terms? Because right now, he's been very reactive, and that matters.
That's what our judges are looking at here as we approach.
Oh, beautiful snap down into front headlock and trying to run around to the back. Anderson immediately pulling the half guard, but not quite. Doesn't have the control of the leg. It looks like Quinones actually is almost into a guard pass here.
Yeah, Quinones is in a great spot. Again, looking to maybe attack the neck. He does. Wraps it up, a little chin strap. Not quite there yet, but looking for a chin strap. And almost past the guard as well.
That forward pressure is really, it's so effective right now. The Quinones, another beautiful sprawl on top of that near side leg. A very unorthodox guard pass, but very effective. And this is opening up the back here. Anderson is turning to try and defend, but in the process exposes his back. And this is dangerous territory. Quinones wants to get the back because here he can attack the neck, he can attack the arms. He has all the options in the world where Anderson, all he can do is defend.
Yeah, Damian's doing a decent job of defending, but Luiz has really dominated the pacing of this match, and now he's in the best spot he can hope to be.
He's on the neck.
Damian's almost out of danger, and he escapes. But what a moment there for Quinones. Great exchange.
Nice recovery there from Anderson, who manages to spin back through into this top position. Now, of course, he is not in control currently. This is Quinones playing guard from bottom, but Anderson is now, he has an opportunity to fire back with some attacks of his own, whereas up until now, he has been entirely defensive. And we're almost 5 minutes into this match. The judges' favor should be coming through any second, but I'd say right now, it's all Quinones.
Yeah, you can't really disagree with that, but like you pointed out, I'm curious to see what Quinones' guard looks like as we reverse roles here for the first time in this match, and I'm sure Damian's happy to be trying something new because the beginning was not going great for him.
Well, we've had a good look at what Quinones has to offer from the top position and from standing. And we've seen so far as well a little bit of what Anderson's guard looks like. Now it's an opportunity to see the opposite. Another light flash, and the judges currently favor blue. There's no surprise that Quinones is currently in the lead, but let's remind our viewers, Chase, that this is not a round, that this is not a score. This is simply an indication of so far who they feel is in the lead.
Well stated. And man, what a fun 5 minutes that was. I mean, it really went by quick and a lot of action. And I'm surprised to see Damian take it back to the feet. It hasn't worked out very well for him in the beginning, but maybe he's looking for an opening to pull guard or try something new.
Our referee, Gabriel Martins, just takes it back into the center of the mat. Of course, this mat, a 42 by 42 foot mat, plenty of room to work, but these featherweights, they move a lot, right?
Absolutely. That's what makes it so fun, right? There's a lot of activity, very creative game so far, and this is why these guys made the stage here, who's number one.
I think I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Damian Anderson, because you know what, so far, yeah, 5 minutes in, yep, you know, he's been reactive, but this guy, he has the stamina to go for the full 15 minutes and beyond, because it wasn't that long ago that he competed in a match that went almost an hour, non-stop, no breaks or timeouts, Chase. And he went head-to-head with Andrew Tackett, who you'll see in action a little later here. And, I mean, he gave a great account of himself, non-stop. And there is a beautiful attack here from Quinones. Now manages to put Anderson down, not out of danger, the arm around the neck, and Anderson could do something with this.
Yeah, what a moment here. Let's see if Anderson's able to capitalize, though, but what a move from Quinones. Great takedown attempt, but Anderson's now getting up.
Hand around the neck. It looks like hand fighting here from Quinones. It looks like he's managed to take a little bit of the pressure off from around the neck, but still not out of danger. You know, of course, Anderson, he has the opportunity to attack for the submission, but this position, the front headlock, I mean, as you can see now, trying to set up a back take from here, or just simply to get a top position. Quinones, he's got to be really careful what he gives up here.
Yeah, the momentum has momentarily changed in this match, as Quinones is much more defensive in this action here. Let's see if he can escape there. Right on the edge of the mat, they're technically a little bit out of bounds, but we're waiting for this exchange to slow down, to be reset, as we see here.
Well, that was a smart reset by our referee, Gabriel Martins, because what he allowed them to do is he allowed them to move through that sequence until they were in a position that he felt that he could restart them in that exact same position. Because, you know, if they're in the middle of a submission attack, it's very difficult to restart somebody in the back in the center of the mat. But in this, oh, look at this. Now you see Anderson backstepping over that top leg. Will he go for a leg attack, or will he use that to expose the back and to go for something else? He has options here.
Yeah, he's looking to be in a great attacking position, setting up multiple different problems here for Quinones. He does drop back on a leg.
Possible inside heel hook here for Anderson. He's definitely hunted for it. He's looking out for it, but Quinones rolls through and manages to escape. And let's be clear here. Now, that was a significant position. However, there was actually no submission attack in play there.
At the same time, that was an aggressive move, and it forced some action. So, I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Oh, nice back take there from Anderson. Straight onto the neck. Has he got the arm? Gets the finish in the blink of an eye. Gary Tonon is out of his chair. Damian Anderson pulls the trigger and gets the rear naked choke to end this match.
And your winner, out of the red corner, representing Danaher, that's one, Damian Anderson.
I think a significant factor in that match, Chase, was the acceleration of Anderson, that he was able to bide his time through multiple bad positions and to go through, well, basically weather the storm that Quinones put on him with the wrestling until he was able to find a suitable position from which to go for the back, and that's exactly what he was able to do. Anderson, you know, we saw it here. He was headhunting for sure, right?
Yeah, no, Damian played a very patient game, like you said, weathered the storm, and really didn't get frazzled by being behind for quite a while. But that back take was a thing of beauty and an instant finish. I mean, what a way to end the match, and we start the night here at Who's Number One.
Important to tell our viewers as well, of course, the first submission of the night, but every submission here at Who's Number One tonight gets a $500 bonus thanks to our sponsors, Fat Tire Beer. Now, Damian, man, you must be happy with that, because not only is that a great performance there, you got to finish your Who's Number One debut with one of the most classic jiu-jitsu techniques, a rear naked choke.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely really happy about it. You know, Luiz came out really strong. I was actually surprised. I kind of had a feeling that he wouldn't be able to keep that pace, so you know, I just stayed calm, kept inside position, and then once I started to feel him fade a little bit, you saw me increase my my pacing a little bit more.
Well, we knew that you had the stamina to go that long. Of course, you competed in a match last year that went almost an hour in length. A 15-minute match here shouldn't be much of a problem. But tell us what was going through your head in those first 5 minutes, because he was putting it on you.
Yeah, to be honest, like you can ask my teammates, I really wanted to wrestle with him. So I came out on the feet. Most of my matches, you see me pull guard. And then he took me down. We were dry, and he was holding onto my ankle. I couldn't limp leg at all. So then I decided to sit down. He started really putting the pressure on. And then, like I said, I was just trying to make sure I didn't get tired, kept inside position. And then once I started to feel him fade a little bit, you saw me stand up. My corners were calling for multi-snaps, pump snaps to get him tired a little bit more. Then he actually decided to stay on bottom. I started working my passing, tried to backstep into the legs a little bit, and then ultimately, I actually think I backstepped into the upper body, surprisingly.
Man, the acceleration there from that attack sequence, you were on his back in the blink of an eye. You seemed to get the arm underneath and the chin so quickly. And of course, you get the $500 submission bonus from our sponsors, Fat Tire. You must be pretty happy with that.
Oh, definitely. I'm super happy. I mean, I'm more happy getting a submission on this stage. You know, this stage has a lot of viewers, so I'm definitely really happy about the submission.
Well, we're happy as well because that's a great way to start the show. Thank you so much for putting it out here on the mats here at Who's Number One, putting it all on the line. Congratulations, Damien Hansen.
Thanks for having me.
Wasting no time. He's in and he's out. He's like throwing the headset down from that interview and he's straight out to go catch up with his team backstage.
He's fired up. That's what you want to see at the prelims, Hal.
Well, I'm fired up and we got plenty more action to come. Coming up next, we have a 150-pound catchweight bout with Cole Abate versus Bird Wiltse coming up after this.
This event is sponsored by BJJ Fanatics, the most trusted online BJJ store in the world, featuring instructional videos from some of the top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athletes like Gordon Ryan, Bernardo Faria, John Danaher, and more. Visit bjjfanatics.com for more info and use coupon code FLOWBJJ40 for 40% off for a limited time.
BJJ Fanatics is your #1 resource on the planet for video instructionals. We have the best teachers and the best fighters in the world, and the level of detail they go into showing their techniques is second to none. No matter what aspect of your game you're looking to improve, guard, passing, submissions, gi, no gi, win more of your fights in practice and in competition with techniques from the top BJJ fighters and instructors in the world today.
To be the best, you have to be crazy.
My parents would tell us that dark wizards were trying to cast spells on us because they were light wizards and they were trying to heal the world and stuff. It's my first IBJJF black belt tournament. I have to check that last one off. Now it's like the final frontier.
name is Cole Abate. I'm a blue belt fighting out of Art of Jiu-Jitsu in Costa Mesa, California. Always try to put a good pressure on my opponent, making them make mistakes. Always trying to capitalize on those mistakes to get a submission. I feel comfortable whenever I'm on bottom, whenever I'm on top, and I feel that I'm dangerous in every position.
Your winner, Cole Abate.
I was able to get the submission victory in the last time around, and looking forward to do the same thing this time. I'm fighting against Bird Wiltse. I know he'll be very tough. He comes from a team that trains very hard. Everybody knows Daisy Fresh, but I'm confident that we train just as hard at my gym and looking for the submission again.
My name is Satya Wiltse. I'm a brown belt. Fuck me. My name is Satya Wiltse. I usually go by Bird. I'm a brown belt under pedigo submission fighting. I'm usually either really exciting or kind of boring to watch. I do like to go for a lot of footlocks and flashy submissions. I'm very hard to pass, so if someone's on top, I'm in a happy spot. So I'm fighting Cole Abate. All I hear is that he's this really awesome up-and-comer. He just double golded at the Panza last weekend. I don't really care if I lose. Just going out there and showing what I can do is why I do this sport.
Right now, I'm just trying to get those higher level matches and just working my way until I get to the #1 spot.
Expect me to go hard as fuck right out the gate. If he stays on top, I think he's small enough I can move him around way easier than any of the motherfuckers in my practice room.
I know you're prepared. I know I'm prepared. Let's go out there and give the fans a show.
Let's meet the competitors in match number 2. In the blue corner, training out of Mount Vernon, Illinois, and representing Pedigo Submission Fighting, Sacha Bird Wiltse.
Bird Wiltse, that is his nickname, but he is best known as one of the, let's call him the principal characters, but also one of the best known athletes out of the Daisy Fresh crew, aka Pedigo Submission Fighting.
Every bit as exciting as his brother Andrew Wiltse. He last competed at Nogi Pans back in October, and he's ready to come back to competition tonight. Let's get to it.
And his opponent in the red corner, training out of Costa Mesa, California, and representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu, Cole Abate.
Cole Abate, Ice Cole, making his return to Who's Number One after a very successful submission win here not too long ago. Currently one match into his Who's Number One career and so far undefeated.
Just 16 years old, but has all the eyes of the jiu-jitsu world on him for a very long time. Super exciting grappler. Let's get to it.
As you can see here, that Cole is a little shorter than the relatively lanky-looking Wiltse, and the age difference considerable. Cole only 16, and yet a very mature, very experienced competitor. Wiltse is 25. Our last second instructions from the referee, Gabriel Martins, and we're underway. This is a 15-minute match. On top is Abate with the red ankle band on.
Abate really putting a lot of forward pressure here, but Bird doing a nice job getting a foot in front to stave off some of that pressure, but Abate wasting no time creating a connection here, trying to enforce the pace. But if anybody knows how to train hard, it'd be the guys from Daisy Fresh. Last time we saw Cole Abate on the stage, secured a beautiful submission win in short order. I'm curious to see if Bird puts up a little bit different of a fight this time around.
So this is interesting because Wiltse has he's taken a long time off. His last competition was actually Nogi Pans, and that was towards the end of 2020. He won gold there, but he injured himself during that match. And look at this deep knee cut pass there from Abate over the top of the guard into the mount here. Possible mounted triangle over the top of the guard, and this is a very dominant position now for Cole Abate.
That adjustment was insane. I thought Cole might actually slide off the top, but he was able to shift his hips back a little bit and secure a dominant mount position here. This is not the start that Bird is looking for, but Abate is completely in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, a minute and a 4.5 into this match, and Abate already passing the guard into the mount now. A somewhat of a guard recovery there from Wiltse, who has managed to get a hook back in. But look at this, because, you know, Abate has got a very strong upper body control with that underhook. Doesn't have the crossface, but man, you know, I think that pressure that Cole put on him in that opening seconds there, that's a shot across the bows.
Yeah, that's a wake-up call for Bird. Bird is for momentarily here a little bit out of danger, but Cole leaps right back in. Look at that nice knee cut going again. Hip control onto the neck. Cole's transitions are so fast, Hal.
Onto the neck here from that knee slide. Of course, this isn't really an effective defensive position for Wiltse, is it? Because regardless of the fact that he has the leg trapped between his, you know, the fact that Abate is so far past the legs and the hips and is now actually attacking the neck and the upper body, it's he has options. He can go for the neck. He can possibly expose the back, or this is exactly what we're seeing here. Trying to roll to the back, but looks like Wiltse might be able to get out, but
Cole Abate might be switching to the arm here. He's a little bit high for any kind of a back take unless something really, really crazy happens. But Bird is definitely not out of danger. He's trying to keep as tight as possible, not let any of those limbs go because Cole will snatch it up.
Absolutely reminiscent of Abate's last match here on Who's Number One against Ned Johnson of 10th Planet, and he came out and he was just throwing out those submission attacks. It was attack after attack after attack, and that's exactly what we're seeing here so far. I mean, we are not even 3 minutes into this match, and already we're seeing Abate hunting for the Kimura trap back take, and he may even be able to get to this crucifix here. Now, Wiltse is in danger.
This is not a great spot for Wiltse here, and Cole Abate is just a killer. I love watching him compete. His transitions are so smooth, and now he's really got a lot of options. I'm curious to see where he wants to go next. He's going to try and find a submission here or transition to another position, maybe the back.
Now, you say it's smooth, and that is absolutely no exaggeration. It's exactly what we've come to expect from any Art of Jiu-Jitsu competitor, that they are so smooth in their transitions, something that is honed via endless rounds of drilling under the supervision of Guy and Rafa Mendes. But look at this, still hunting the leg. Wiltse is trying to roll through, but Abate is just not letting go of it. He's a dog on a bone.
This could be it right here. He's in a great position to finish with the armbar.
Oh, switches to the triangle. Look at that wonderful transition there for Abate, who manages to go straight from the armbar into the triangle choke, and this could be over right here. He's got very good control. He's got the arm across the center line, pulling down on the head. I think the tap is imminent here.
Yeah, Bird's trying his best to stay calm, but he's really not doing much to get out of the choke, which means this thing is super tight, and Cole can just cook him here for a little while before he really wants to finish it. Cole might switch to the arm. It looks like he's thinking about it.
Rotational shoulder lock. There is the finish. Abate gets the tap in less than 4.5 minutes. Wow, that is about, let me see, 4 minutes and 17 seconds for the submission. The 16-year-old just coming out in the driver's seat, start to finish. What a match.
And your winner, out of the red corner, representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu, Cole Abate.
Well, let's take a look at some of the best moments from that match, because there were many of them. That was incredible. Another submission, our second match of the night, and another submission bonus as presented by our sponsors, Fat Tire Beer. Wow, that is something else. Abate now 2-0 on Who's Number One, Chase.
Yeah, Cole Abate cements his position as one of the must-see teenage grapplers on the planet today. So exciting, and like we were talking about throughout that match, the transitions were incredible, leading all the way up here to this triangle and the armbar finish. What a match. Our second submission in just 2 matches. This is going to be a great night, Hal.
I am stunned by the maturity and the precision of Abate's techniques within that match. It was a furious pace. It was a very high work rate from Abate, who just cycled through, well, as many positions that we could barely keep up, but it's another very, very impressive performance. Now, let's kick it on over to our winner, Cole Abate, now 2-0 on the Who's Number One mat. Cole, that was some pace you put on him right there. I mean, you came out, it looked like you knew what you were looking for, and nothing was going to stop you from getting it.
For sure, that's always the mentality. It's always trying to put pressure on your opponent until they make a mistake and you capitalize.
Ice Cole is the nickname, and you definitely live up to it, because you come out here and it's like, I see no expression on your face. You were just entirely focused on that target, but you were cycling through those transitions so quickly and with such precision. Tell me a little bit about this match.
Yeah, the first few minutes me and my professor, we decided that we were just going to try to feel out the opponent. So feel his strengths, feel his weaknesses, the strength he had in his grips, and then we'd start applying more pressure and increasing the intensity. So yeah, after like the first minute or two, started putting some more intensity in the attacks, and then eventually got to some more submissions. Made him give up the arm at the end with the triangle, but just always attacking the submission. You know, that's what this event is all about. So that's always how I've been. I've always prided myself in attacking the submission, no matter what rule set it is. So glad to get the other win here at Who's Number One. So yeah.
This is your second performance here at Who's Number One, your second submission, and you get the submission of the night bonus from our sponsors, Fat Tire, as well. No beer for you. You're still underage.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's awesome. Another great victory, and that just makes it even more special. So really happy that was a part of the deal too. So.
Abate, man, thank you so much for putting it all on the line here at Who's Number One tonight. That was an incredible performance. Do you have any last words before you get out of here?
No, I just want to thank everybody that's gotten me here to where I am. Obviously, without my parents and my team, I wouldn't be here today. So thankful to everybody that helped me in training, or that did the extra rounds just to do no gi, skipping the gi class. So yeah, just really thankful and grateful for everybody a part of this.
Incredible. We will definitely see you back here soon. Thank you very much, Cole Abate.
Thank you.
What a match. Well, we are 2 matches into the show here at Who's Number One, 2 submissions, but we have one more free prelim coming up. Next is Mikhail Galvao versus Andrew Tackett, one of the most anticipated matches of the entire evening, Chase.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this one. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Presented by Defense Soap, now the official soap and body wipe of FloGrappling. Protecting you for over 15 years. Defend what you have built. We are proud to introduce Dolomur as the new official mat of Flow Sports. All FloGrappling WNO events, including tonight's, will be fought on Dolomur mats, the undisputed leader in sport surfaces.
What's up, guys? My name is Andrew Tackett. I'm a purple belt trained here in Austin, Texas under Rodrigo Cabral at Brazilian Fight Factory. I say I'm relentless. I attack a lot. Even if I'm winning by a mile, I still am attacking. I'm always looking to finish my opponent. If you watch me, you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. You're going to be saying, wow.
Wow. I'm Mikael Galvao. I'm 17 years old, brown belt from Dream Yard Fight Sport. Basically, my jiu-jitsu style is the old jiu-jitsu and the new jiu-jitsu trying to always stick for the submission. I always try to make it look good on a fight for someone who never watched jiu-jitsu before.
Mika is a very tough opponent. I know he has really good wrestling.
I'm going to be competing against Andrew Tackett. I can tell there's going to be a very good fight.
I'm excited for this match just because I know my style is going to pair up really well against Mika.
I'm very excited because there's nothing that someone can tell what's going to happen there. Not like, oh, okay, Mika's going to do it and Tackett's going to do it. No, you don't know what's coming up there.
The fans can expect from me just a relentless pace. I'm going to look to put Mika in a very tight spot.
Andrew, bring your best version because I'm bringing mine, and let's give a good show to everyone.
Osa. Expect me to come after you. Expect me to fight the whole 15 minutes. Let's have a great fight, Mika.
Let's meet the competitors in match number 3. In the blue corner, training out of Miami, Florida, and representing Fight Sports, Mikael Galvao.
We mentioned it briefly in our analysis for this evening, but this is one of the most anticipated appearances on Who's Number One that I think we've ever had. And can you believe it that this young man, Mikael Galvao, is only 17 years old?
Yeah, he's carrying the whole country of Brazil on his shoulders. Many think he's the next big thing. Cannot wait to see him to make his debut tonight here. Who's Number One?
And his opponent in the red corner, training out of Austin, Texas, and representing Checkmat, Andrew Tackett.
The hometown hero, Andrew Tackett, returns to Who's Number One for the second time in no-gi matches after an incredible non-stop 15-minute performance not too long ago where he showed that he is one of the brightest up-and-coming prospects in his division. But he's got a huge challenge ahead of him tonight here, Chase.
Yeah, Andrew is one of the most dynamic, exciting young grapplers on the scene today. Of course, the younger brother of William Tackett. Let's check out the tail of tape here as we get into the match.
An all-teen affair, 18 years of age is Tackett. Galvao is only 17. The weight here is definitely a factor. Galvao, he cut a significant amount of weight for this match, Chase. We've been told that he cut somewhere in the region of around about 11 or 12 pounds to hit the 170 limit. And Tackett actually came in way under at around about 168 pound, cutting no weight whatsoever. So we'll see if that is a factor. But Tackett has never shied away from a challenge. Does not matter the size of the opponent. Doesn't matter. He fought against brown and black belts when he was only a blue and purple belt and just without fear.
Yeah, Tackett's definitely one of the scrappiest competitors I had today. And I'm curious to see how measured the approach might be. I don't know how long we'll stay like this before they start fighting like cats and dogs out there.
Galvao, well, he had one of the standout performances of the IBJJF No-Gi Pan Championships just very recently. He won his division there, his first competition as a brown belt on American soil. And, well, 4 matches, 3 submissions. And those 3 submissions totaled the grand total of around about 2.5 minutes of match time. He is a submission sniper.
100%. And just looking at the match here, I'm liking Tackett's use of the Wagner shoulder jab, if you will, that pawing motion or the palm, almost a palm strike to keep the distance there. Wagner employs that to great effect. It really gets in the mind and head of the competitors. But Mika's probably always seen some of that as he's been training down there with Wagner and Cyborg and the guys at Fight Sports for a few weeks now.
That is a great point, Chase, that Galvao, he arrived here in the United States a couple of weeks ago. Him and his father Melky. They have been based at Fight Sports in Miami, training with Roberto Cyborg and the rest of the crew there. And, well, we've actually got plenty of training videos on the site. And look at that outside leg hook there into a front headlock here, possibly onto a... Well, I thought he's maybe on the neck, but with double overhooks and diving into what looked like a flying armbar of sorts. But, man, this is the kind of thing that you can expect from Galvao. He is very unorthodox in his attacks, but he is clinical in his finishes.
Absolutely, but this is a great position here for Andrew as he stacks Mika in a good passing position. We're going to see just how good Mika's defenses are, and you can see he's going to squeeze right out of that
beautiful
position.
use of the frame in the armpit there just to recover guard relatively effortlessly.
Stop. Got a wardrobe malfunction here.
Fight!
Good sportsmanship from Mika not to immediately take that moment, that pause to come up and wrestle.
Look at the flexibility of the De La Riva hook from Galvao on bottom, the way that he's able to get that right leg, the outside hook all the way through onto the inside of the thigh, now switching to the inside hook. But the dexterity, this shows that he's... well, we've seen his top game. We know that he's got phenomenal wrestling. He's a very good takedown artist, but this is it's rare to see him spend extended periods on his back and playing guard. Because let's be honest, not that many people are able to keep him there.
That's true. It should be noted that Mika is also a Lucha Libre black belt here. Still brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, but Lucha Libre, of course, being the no-gi-based submission grappling sport native to Brazil. Now,
now look at this, unusual coming up onto possibly the back is Galvao looking to roll through to a back take with the rear body lock now. He's got control of the hips. Can he get the hooks in? This is a very unorthodox sequence, but doesn't have complete control, but this is dangerous. If he can get a little higher on the back, he might be able to get an arm around the neck. He might be able to get those hooks in, but what an unusual reversal from bottom, and Andrew Tackett now is in deep water.
Yeah, the dexterity of Mika is really coming through here. Just incredible just ability to take the back here. He's not quite fully secure, but he's in a great spot to do it. And they're both pretty dry still at this point, haven't even hit the 5-minute mark in this match. So this is a great moment for Mika to maybe capitalize, but Andrew may be out of danger.
Oh, look at their reversal now. Galvao is coming up on top, and it looks like he's settling down into the side control as well. This is a very dominant position, and this is going to afford him a lot of opportunity to attack.
This is not good for Tackett, as Mika does not like to go backwards, and you rarely see it. But Andrew may get, if he can slide his left leg a bit more in front, but no, Mika straight into the mount. This could be
big pressure here.
Very dangerous for Tackett here.
Now, we talked a little about the weight advantage. This is where it comes into play, because if Tackett didn't cut any weight for this match whatsoever, whereas Galvao maybe cut 11, 12 pounds to hit that weight limit. I mean, come the day of the match, he could be 15 pounds heavier. And when you're on top, 15 pounds is, it's so much. It feels more than 15.
Especially when you're talking about a chin on your face there right now. Now, let's see if Mika can isolate one of these arms. He's looking to do it right now, looking to isolate. It looks to be Andrew's left arm.
You see in the corner, you see William Tackett and Rodrigo Cabral. That is Andrew Tackett's older brother, William, in his corner. They're, of course, based right here in Austin, Texas. The Tackett brothers, a famous fighting family, and you can imagine that William very concerned with his brother at this stage. But right now, Galvao is just in such dominant position and such control, and yet he's not giving up too much right now. He seems pretty patient in his strategy, and he's seems happy to take what Tackett is willing to give him.
Yes, he's being very measured, very mature approach here as he switches from arm to arm. And really dominating the
blue at
pace
this
here.
stage?
Yes, exactly, judge's favor. Pretty clear, I would say, for Mika. Hard to argue with that, as he's achieved the mount and secured it for a moment now. And I like how he's trying to pry up whatever arm he can take. Right now he's looking at Tackett's left arm, but maybe he'll switch back to the right. He's just kind of cooking him, hoping to isolate one of these limbs and secure an arm lock of some sort.
Yeah, at this stage, when you're in the mount, it's very difficult to attack somebody who is completely shelled up. The idea is to try and get those elbows away from the upper body to try and create some separation there. But look at that. Now with the underhook and crossface, you see that Galvao actually gives up the mount, goes to a knee ride, and then settles down into this side control position, because let's be honest, Tackett wasn't giving anything away, and now it feels like Galvao is maybe, he's actually actively looking for something, and this is an opportunity for Tackett to recover guard and possibly stage a counter-attack of his own.
What a scramble right there.
Beautiful escape there from Andrew Tackett, coming into the top position, and now in a position to stamp his authority on this match.
Yeah, that was very, very smart of Andrew to stay calm there, stay composed, not give away anything easy, and he was able to get back on top, which I'm sure he's happier about as he looks to go for this double unders pass again. But I'm wondering if we're going to see the pace ramp up. Both these guys can go forever. It's been very, very calm throughout, and I'm wondering if Andrew may be a little more eager to get something off in a quick manner here coming up in these next several minutes.
You know, the one thing that is really obvious to me so far from watching this match, Chase, is that Galvao, his expression has not changed. Whether he is in a bad spot and he's defending, or whether he is in the attack, it is just this expressionless look, mouth closed, breathing through his nose, and just doesn't seem flustered by anything that Tackett is offering so far, and he just seems so calm.
Yes, absolutely, and you can see Tackett's trying to make this a little bit grittier. You know, he likes making the match a little ugly.
That's his style, right?
That's the style. That's the strategy, is to really wear on somebody, start to maybe break them mentally. Tackett said in his interviews that that's what he wanted to try and do, but Mika clearly is not phased at this point in time and has already led the way in this match out.
You know, the one thing I gotta say though, I gotta call this out, I respect this, because Tackett has not taken a backward step. The moment that he came on top and he was able to escape that position, there was no retreat. There was no moment where, okay, let me catch my breath. No, he is straight on the attack and he is pouring on the pressure from this top position. But he hasn't been successful yet in finding the key to Galvao's guard. He hasn't been able to navigate his way past those obstacles and get into a control position.
That's very true, and I think Mika has really made the pace of this match what he wants it to be. He's really controlling and he's sweeping when he needs to, but he's not really upset about holding position on bottom for a little while, biding his time, as Andrew is really trying to force something. Mika, I think, is taking the game as it comes to him and waiting for the perfect moment here.
And you look at this, you see the way that Tackett is knee slide passing, that he has his, instead of putting his knee on the floor, he puts it on the torso, and he was actually drawing Galvao to him. He was pulling on the back of the head to try and put the pressure on sternum. Those are the kind of tactics you can expect from Tackett, because he likes to just pour the pressure on his opponents. He likes to really put it on them. But let's be honest, this is not the same Andrew Tackett that we've seen in the past, because usually his matches, they're so fast, it is hard to keep up. But this is definitely a slower pace, and I would say that Galvao has done a very good job of slowing him down and really deciding the pace of this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew here in an interesting exchange as he almost gets a footlock attack and looks for the back in the same moment, but reset here as Andrew again tries to go for this knee slice pass. Like you said, Mika remains unfazed by any of the aggression shown here from Tackett. Looks very calm, very happy to go into the exchanges, and now he's pushing back a bit on Andrew's face. This is going to be a chippy match home.
Okay, so here's my question, Chase, is that now as we're approaching the 10-minute mark in this match, the judges will be asked once again who they favor at this stage and who they think is in control. Now, of course, Tackett, he spent the early part of the match in a very bad position. Galvao was clearly in control. But now at this stage, it is a little less clear as to who's in control, because Galvao is, yes, comfortable, calm, and yet it is possibly Tackett is the one is actually dictating the pace here a little bit.
I think that's a fair argument, but Mika hasn't really given up an inch, but Tackett is certainly pushing the pace, I would say, in the last 5-minute period. But yeah, he hasn't really gotten anywhere. Mika's so good at just recomposing his guard, resetting, and again, trying to initiate on his terms.
Here we see in the inset, the box there in the corner, you can see on the left is Melky Galvao. That is Mika Galvao's father and coach, a very well-known and respected black belt from the city of Manaus. Manaus in Brazil, of course, home to many champions. There's something in the water in that city, because they've called it the Dagestan of Brazil. It's where all the toughest guys in the world come from. It's like, if you were to list all the world champions in history, I'm not sure exactly how many come from Manaus, but it's proportionately ridiculous. There's so many of them. But judges favor blue once again, meaning that so far at this stage, they still consider that Galvao is leading this match. And look at that, very simple wrestle up from bottom, and he directly into the top position. Nice spin out here from Tackett, possibly onto a leg attack.
That was interesting there, Hal. I don't know if you could hear it, but the judges right at the 5-minute mark said, go, and Mika immediately shot a takedown, reverse positions. It looks like they were biding their time, waiting for this moment. Mika's corner much more animated now. They want to see a lot of action in the last 5 minutes.
Look at that beautiful diving knee slice pass as well. I mean, this is a very significant attack from Galvao, is because the difference in the guard passing, whereas the Tackett was only able to advance not even halfway and get close to getting control of that upper body. Galvao, every single one of his guard passes are near finishes.
Look at this, straight into the mount again. Beautiful passing from Mika, really taking over the pacing of this match again. Looks like he took took that middle 5 minutes to sort of control the pace and control his own energy, but now he's in a dominant spot again. Let's see what he can do with it here.
As you said, representing Fight Sports Miami and also Dream Art in Manaus, Mikael Galvao has captured the attention of the Brazilian audience like few grapplers have. He is a legitimate superstar in Brazil. This kid, they've told everybody, look out, he is going to be the next big thing. And I've got to say, judging by his performance so far at this stage, there's no exaggeration.
No, he looks completely dominant and a real treat to watch. I mean, a beautiful technique, not an ounce of wasted energy as he makes his way into the most dominant place in Jiu-Jitsu, which is the mount. Again, looks like he's trying to isolate an arm here, and I'm wondering maybe if he's thinking a few steps ahead to the back. You know, it's really hard sometimes to finish someone no-gi from top, especially if they're shelling up and doing good defense. The back may be the next logical step if you cannot get what you're looking for on top.
Now, let's be honest as well, Chase. Does this look like a 17-year-old in control right here? This looks like a veteran black belt. This looks like a person who has spent their entire lives training for this moment. And yet he is, of course, he's been doing jiu-jitsu since an incredibly young age, but he's a 17-year-old brown belt, and this is the level of skill that he has to offer.
Well, he certainly has been doing his whole life. He's an absolute machine, you know, been built for this, and been training full-time since probably he was, 14 years old or something.
And his whole family do jiu-jitsu, because we mentioned his father, Melky, is a black belt, his mother is a brown belt, his sister is a brown belt. It is a fighting family, and that Manaus, of course, is very rich in terms of the amount of training partners who are able to put it on, and he's been making great use of the let's call it the human resources that they have there at Fight Sports in Miami as well, in training with those guys there. And I've got to say that this is some next level stuff. The control, few people are able to put the pressure on Andrew Tackett in this manner, but with great escape. And now, with 2 minutes remaining, Tackett back in the match, and this is a chance for him to say, hey, don't forget me. I'm still in this match. I've still got a chance here.
Yeah, you can never count out a Tackett. They're so game as he looks to take up a single leg here. His coach is calling for all the energy he can give. There's only 2 minutes left in this match. Let's go, let's go. But Mika, for his part, is not looking like he lost a bit of energy. He looks completely fresh as he dives onto the back. Look at that transition, Hal. Incredible.
Oh, possibly onto a triangle here. He seems to have got a high close guard. They are very slippy. He may not be able to completely close this control position, but this is dangerous. Andrew Tackett at risk of the armbar. Almost gets the extension of the arm. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining, and Andrew Tackett is still very much in this match, but my word, that is a statement from Galvao. You cannot leave anything hanging out.
I need to see that sequence again because that was absolutely insane. What a match.
Tackett definitely flagging somewhat now. This is Mikael Galvao has got 1 more minute to work. Can he finish the match? I mean, he's come close now, but Tackett, at this point, they're so drenched, they're so slippery. I gotta say, man, it's gonna be like holding an eel. It's gonna be so difficult to actually get control. But that doesn't stop Tackett from trying. Look at that.
Nice exchange from Tackett. Almost got the takedown, but they're both a little bit tired now, looking to reset on the feet. Oh my God, I did not know what to expect from this match, but it certainly delivered.
Tackett jumps through, and a nice guard interception there from Mikael Galvao. Gets past, lands in the side control, has got a deep underhook. He could potentially finish the match. He's still got 20 seconds left to work. Somewhat of a strategic error, a little enthusiastic there from Tackett in trying to throw up the flying attack, and Galvao is going to ride out this match.
Oh, he's isolating an arm. This could be it.
He's got 9 seconds, 7 seconds to work. Can he get the finish? He's going for the armbar. Tackett is desperately trying to defend. Saved by the bell is Andrew Tackett, but what an incredible Who's Number One debut from Mikael Galvao. And I think there is no question of the judge's decision at this point, but let's go through, let's follow the protocol, let's get the official result from the judges. I would be very surprised if there's anything less than blue across the board, but man, what an amazing performance there from Galvao. And a great display of respect there from Andrew Tackett. A formality at this point, I feel that it is blue across the board for the winner, Mikael Galvao.
And your winner, out of the blue corner, representing Fight Sports, Mikael Galvao.
What an incredible performance. What an incredible match. And hey, you know what? Let's give all credit to Andrew Tackett as well, because with a match that good, it takes two to tango, and it's not possible to have a match of the night contender like that unless both guys go out there looking to finish the match, and that's what we had.
Yeah, many were calling this their most anticipated match of the night, and for good reason. They certainly delivered. Mika Galvao is the real deal, but Andrew Tackett every bit in the match as he could be. Way to go, and man, the future of Jiu-Jitsu is certainly bright, Hal.
Did not disappoint one bit. It was a very technical battle. It was a very physical battle. It was also one of those contests where it was a case of who wanted it more, and I feel in this case there was a definite edge in the confidence. There was the armbar attack. I mean, that is just Andrew Tackett saying, I don't want to tap, and Mikhail Galvao. Congratulations, an amazing performance here in your Who's Number One debut. How do you feel after that match?
I just feel, very amazing. It was a great event. Also, coming here for the second time, it's something very nostalgic and very, I forgot the word, but it's a very good feeling, And competing against Andrew, of course, is a very talented young man on the sport, and something very good to, come back here and win this. So just grateful for God, my coach, Master Vitadori, and FloGrappling for the opportunity.
So, Mika, you mentioned about how to come back here because you actually were on our very first ever Who's Number One event competing in a gi match. That was a very long time ago, over a year ago, and a lot has changed since then. Now you're a brown belt. You're competing here in a no-gi match, 15 minutes submission only. I think this is something that a lot of people, they've wanted to see, right? They wanted to see Mikhail Galvao competing in the United States here on Who's Number One.
Yeah, and I know how much the people in Brazil wanted also not only to have someone competing against the USA, but also I think they wanted to see a Brazilian going, up to the no-gi and proclaiming the trying to bring the flag against, with them. There's many Brazilians here. They're trying to, evolve the no-gi, and I just want to, bring this sport, actually not the sport, bring this conscious to the Brazilian people, because not many Brazilians like the no-gi, but I want to, bring the American people, the Brazilian people to combine this no-gi and also gi events, because I really enjoy fighting this style too.
Do you feel any pressure? Of course, there are so many fans in Brazil who are looking to you to represent them, represent their country here. But does that affect your performance? Do you feel any pressure?
No, not even a little. I'm just very grateful for the people who trust me. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be in here on the event, to be here in America. I don't have any complaint about it. I just feel grateful for being here.
What was the key to success in this match? Andrew, a very, very tough opponent. There were some dangerous moments there. You almost finished the match, but what do you think enabled you to control it like that for 15 minutes?
I don't know. It's just like Andrew's a very tough opponent. Always, I was trying to adjust my position, but he was very, very sneaky and very slippery there. I was like, oh, I'm getting. He's like, boop. And he pops out. But yeah, it was a very good match.
Well, congratulations, Mikhail Galvao.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure to watch you display your jiu-jitsu hero, Who's Number One. Any message for the fans in Brazil before you leave?
Agradeço a todo mundo que está assistindo aí do Brasil. Agradeço a toda a energia positiva. Deu certo. Vou tentar continuar dando meu máximo aqui para, então, trazer o nosso carinho pro Brasil. Agradeço a todo mundo e é isso.
Congratulations. Cannot wait to see you back here on Who's Number One. Mikhail Galvao. What a match. That definitely lived up to the hype. Of course, a lot of people were, all eyes were on that match. But hey, let's not forget that there is plenty more to come. We have the main card going down exclusively on FloGrappling from this point on. Coming up next, we have Jonathan Alves of AOJ versus Oliver Taza of the Danaher Death Squad. All that, plus much more. Watch it exclusively on FloGrappling.com. Chase, that was pretty good, huh?
Oh my God, I nearly jumped out of my seat like 5 different times in that match. What a show it's been. We've had 2 submissions out of 3 matches, and of course the barn burner we just witnessed right there. It's been a great night so far, and so much more to come.
All right, guys, well, that's it for now. We'll be back momentarily. Don't go anywhere.